Beck.
Let me say hello. Let's try this out to the senator from Texas. Louie Goehmert.
Sounds pretty good. I like it.
So, Louie, you asked me yesterday if I had prayed on it. The answer is yes now. And so I'm going to call you the senator from Texas, Louie Goehmert.
Well,
And I accept your acceptance and your speech here that you're probably too shy to give, but I'll give it for you.
But at least we can get out of you that you are coming on today to announce your candidacy.
well, Glenn, it means more than I don't think you could ever know that you would have that kind of faith in it. But, wow, we've got Amazing Grace being sung here at the World War II Memorial, and with 100 or so veterans. Can you hear?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would say, Louie, this is yet another sign.
Wow.
This is another sign. You know the Amazing Grace. You know what a role that has played in the restoring honor and everything else that you've been such a part of. And
I've loved being a part of it.
I mean, what are the odds that Amazing Grace? Just saying.
So are you?
Wow.
You are at the World War II Memorial right now, Louie. Is that?
Yes, I am.
Right?
Standing with about 100 World War II veterans, some Korean and Vietnam, mostly World War II.
Wow.
Let's just hear a little bit. Can we just stop for a second? Let's just listen to the Amazing Grace.
Okay.
So, Louie, are you still there?
Yes.
So, what is happening here at the World War II Memorial? I know they tried to close it yesterday, but what's happening today?
Well, they did close it back again today. They had the barricades, had the yellow tape across, and anyway, Glenn, magically, when all the veterans showed up, there was not a Park Service person there to prevent anyone from moving the barricades like we did yesterday and having the veterans come into their memorial. And since yesterday, I've also found out that in 1995, there was no closure of the Lincoln Memorial that has an important inside area. I mean, you know, it's open air, but inside, and you had sidewalks that are open with memorials everywhere. All you can figure is that somebody intentionally did this to make it difficult for World War II veterans, you know, just to create pain, just for political gain. And some reporter stuck a mic in my face a while ago and said, well, Senator Claire McCaskill says that you're only doing this for politics. And went, are you kidding? This is for our veterans. Come on, if you want to get politics into this thing, then that's what closing this did.
Yeah, this is not something that anybody planned. These veterans, there is a tour because they are dying at a rapid rate every single day, and there are tours that come and they are funded by these organizations to bring these guys in so they can see it before they die. And this is happening all the time. They didn't know that this was going to be during the shutdown.
That's right. And there was no reason. These are granite sidewalks. I'm standing on a granite sidewalk with these veterans. There is no reason to close a sidewalk so they can't come by. And as so many of them are right now, as I'm standing here, they're reading the names of the islands where they were. And one gentleman yesterday that I'd helped out of his wheelchair so he could stand up and read the names of the islands, he was pointing and said, I was on that island, I was on that island. And then he chokes up and says, oh, I wish, and he starts naming people. I wish they were here to see this. we fought together on those islands. Why in the world would people be so calloused that they would not want people that served and protected and gave us this country for decades to come? Why would you not want them to see the memorial constructed for them? Glenn, I keep expecting to hear that they put a drape over Mount Rushmore next. You know, they're spending money to create pain to make it look like, well, you remember they tried to do this with the sequester, talk about how horrible it was going to be, and some of them were saying the stock market was going to crash if there were any kind of shutdown. And so, and I'll tell you what, when our leadership capitulated on Monday night and said, okay, we give up. We're appointing negotiators, conferees. Now all you've got to do, Harry Reid, is appoint negotiators. It's what the Constitution and our rules call for. He wouldn't even do that. Send it right back to the House. We're not even going to send anybody to talk to you. And I'll tell you something else. You can check. But Newt Gingrich talked to Bill Clinton almost every day. There was one or two Sundays when he didn't, but he talked more in one day. I'm talking about Clinton talking to the Speaker of the House than Obama has talked to, collectively to members of the House for months. I mean, this is no way to run a government. And when they say you just got to go ahead and give us every dime we're asking for, a so-called clean CR, Glenn, is not clean. It means it has every bit of fat and lard and waste and abuse and just incredible neglect. It's irresponsible. It's negligent to just keep saying, oh, yeah, we'll give you all the waste, fraud, and abuse that you had last year. We are supposed to supervise this. And it's
Louie,
an abdication if we don't supervise it.
I don't know if you've heard the news yet today about John Boehner. And
No, I haven't. I've been out here.
So here's what's happened. John Boehner wrote a letter or his chief of staff wrote a letter back in the spring and then again in June to have a secret meeting with the president to get all of the Congress to have a special exemption. And in that letter, it said, we can't let it get out there that this is Boehner and Reid asking the president to carve out the requirement of Obamacare. This is a little more difficult. I don't care. It's even okay if the president just decides to haul us down to talk about the next steps on immigration. It just can't be what we know it's really about.
Oh, man. Oh. Well, I hadn't heard that. I haven't seen that. But I've already said, regardless, American people don't get subsidies. I'm not accepting anything. I'll pay my penalties, which come under Obamacare. I'm not doing that. It's not right. So we'll see. And let me just tell you, I thought about this after you and I talked yesterday, Glenn. When I asked you if you had prayed about it before it would have been real easy for you to do what some, Sunday Christians do and just say, well, of course I did. But you were too honest to do that. You said, you know what, I haven't, but I will. I've prayed for you, you said. I just appreciate talking to people that are honest, completely candid, and that means so much, Glenn. And we'll keep praying about it.
Louie?
We need to get through this mess.
Louie?
But you got to understand, I'm also, God given us a mind to be pragmatic. I got about $250,000 in the bank, and I'm looking at millions and millions. And so,
Listen to me.
I'm being effective right now. John Boehner announced at conference yesterday that we finally passed Louie Goehmert's military pay bill. I've been fighting for that for 2 years, and I knew if we would just pass it, it takes our military off the table as political pawns, and we finally did that, and now look what happened. Now we have a way to go ahead and actually accomplish things. Just keep sending one bill after another of the things they say have to get funded, and let's fund them, and let's leave the baloney off the table.
Congressman Goehmert, I will tell you that as you were talking just a few minutes ago, I got an answer to my prayer. And I just want you to know that I don't think you should worry about money. We live in a time of miracles. If you would just continue to pray for your answer, if that's the right thing for you to do, don't pray about the money. Pray about, is this the right thing? I think
that's right.
That
is the prayer.
You are the guy, and it's high time we send a message to the Republicans that claim to be on the side of the Constitution and the Republic and shut them down and start to do the right thing no matter who tells us it can't happen or it won't win. As long as we're on God's side, who could stand against us? So,
well, Glenn, I'm standing in the presence of what sure looked like a miracle to me when Glenn Beck was here at the Lincoln Memorial. And, we had heard about all kinds of million men and all kinds of things here. But I saw hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people out here. Incredible. And so many of us went, wow, we thought there weren't enough people in the country still cared about the Constitution and that our Creator's the one that gave us these rights. And so I'm standing here looking from the World War II Memorial at the Lincoln Memorial, thinking about one seemed pretty miraculous to see that kind of outpouring. Because you remember, people said you'll never get anybody to come out here. You remember.
I do.
It was going to be nothing. And holy smoke, it was incredible.
And Louie, let me tell you something. Everybody told me not to do it. Everybody said it couldn't be done, everything. And I said, and I was more afraid on that day. Well, no, I would say the day I did the Israel thing, I was more afraid leading up to that, but more afraid of being just humiliated and just completely wiped out as anybody. It would have been a laughing stock for the rest of my life. I remember saying to my staff, I'm doing it because I'm supposed to do it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter we don't have the money. It doesn't matter that we don't have a crowd estimate. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're doing it anyway. I hope that you can get the word from upstairs that that's where you're supposed to stand for Texas. But we'll see. Louie, we appreciate it. Congratulations on the passing of your bill, and thanks for being there with our World War II veterans.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks so much.
You bet.
We'll talk to you very soon.
You bet. Bye-bye. Representative Louie Goehmert, I would ask that you would pray. I don't know if anybody else felt that, but halfway through, and maybe it's just because I've been praying on it, I was overwhelmed with who he is, and I would ask you to pray on it so he knows.